Marlon needs the master suite because of his back, Mike. It's not up for debate. We'll take the guest room. It's got better morning light anyway. She didn't even look up from her phone. She just said it, like she was choosing a pizza topping. I froze. My fork hovered halfway to my mouth. Excuse me? Stacy sighed, that loud, performative exhale she does when she thinks I'm being difficult. She finally looked at me, her eyes cold, devoid of any empathy. My parents, they're moving in with us next Friday, the day we close on the house. Marlon and Mom sold their place, and they're taking the master bedroom. We are taking the guest room, and before you start, it's non-negotiable. Family helps family. The air left the room. I looked at her, really looked at her. We were 5 days away from closing on a $620,000 house. A house I put the down payment on. We were 14 days away from a wedding that was costing me the price of a luxury sedan. And she was telling me, not asking, telling that I was going to be sleeping in the guest room of my own house while her unemployed, gambling addict father snored in the master suite I paid for? Stacy, I said, my voice dangerously steady. We discussed this. We agreed. No roommates, especially not Marlon. We talked about this for months. Things change, she snapped, slamming her phone down. Dad's crypto investments tanked. They have zero equity left. They sold their house to pay off debts, and they have to be out by Thursday. They have nowhere else to go, Mike. What kind of monster would let his in-laws live on the street? It's happening. Deal with it. Deal with it. That was the trigger. She wasn't asking for help. She was announcing a hostile takeover. She had hidden her parents' financial ruin from me, waited until I was legally and financially cornered, 5 days before closing, 2 weeks before the wedding, and then dropped the guillotine. She thought I was trapped. She thought I was too deep in to walk away. She forgot what I do for a living. I'm a forensic accountant. My entire career is built on finding rot in financial statements, isolating it, and cutting it out before it kills the company. I don't deal in emotions, I deal in liabilities. And looking at Stacy, seeing the entitlement radiating off her, I didn't see a fiancé anymore. I saw a massive depreciating liability. Okay, I said. She blinked. Okay? You agree? I understand, I said, standing up and taking my plate to the sink. Family comes first. I get it. She jumped up and hugged me from behind, squeezing tight. Oh, thank God. I knew you'd step up. Dad was worried you'd be a jerk about it, but I told him, Mike's a good guy. He knows his place. We're going to be so happy. A full house. He knows his place. The rage that hit me wasn't hot. It was absolute zero. It froze everything inside me. My love, my stress, my anxiety. It all just crystallized into cold, hard clarity. I need to go to the office, I said, peeling her arms off me. If we're doing this, I need to work some overtime to cover the extra costs. Marlon eats like a horse. Good idea, she chirped, already texting, probably telling Marlon he had won. Don't be too late. I walked out of our apartment, got into my car, and drove 2 blocks around the corner. I parked in a dark spot, turned off the engine, and just screamed. I screamed until my throat tasted like blood. Then I stopped. I wiped my face, and I pulled out my phone. The project Eject had begun. The timeline was tight. I had 5 days until closing, 7 days until we had to vacate our current rental, which we had already given notice on, 14 days until the wedding. Day 1, the liquidation. The first call wasn't to the realtor. It was to my bank. I need to lower my daily transfer limit? No, actually, I need to open a separate account at a different branch, entirely unconnected to my current profile. I moved my liquid savings, $45,000. It took hours of verifying, but I stripped our joint house fund account down to the $200 Stacy had contributed. Then, the realtor. Hey Dave, it's Mike. Mike, big week. We're all set for Friday closing. Got the keys ready? Dave, I'm exercising the financing contingency. Silence. What? Mike, your financing is solid. You were pre-approved months ago. Not anymore, I said calmly. I just moved the down payment funds. If the lender runs a final check today, they'll see I don't have the cash to close. But let's save everyone the time. I'm withdrawing my offer. Mike, you're going to lose the earnest money. That's 10 grand, just gone. $10,000. It was a lot of money. But compared to a 30-year mortgage with Marlon living in the master bedroom, it was a bargain. It was the price of freedom. I know, Dave. Burn it. Send the cancellation papers to my email, not the joint one. Does Stacy know? She will, I said. Eventually. Day 2, the wedding massacre. I sat in my car during my lunch break. I had a spreadsheet open. Venue, $12,000 deposit, mine. Catering, $8,000 deposit, mine. Photographer, $3,000, mine. DJ, florist, cake, $5,000, mostly mine, some hers. Total sunk cost, roughly $28,000. Plus the $10,000 earnest money, $38,000. Almost 40 grand to break up with a woman. It was nauseating. I could buy a new truck with that. I could travel Europe for months. But then I remembered the conversation I overheard that morning while I was pretending to be asleep. Stacy was on the phone with Marlon. "Yeah, Dad, don't worry. Mike's getting a promotion soon, so we can probably upgrade your truck next year." And I told him the basement is off limits. That's your man cave. He can set up his little office in the garage if he puts a heater in there. The garage. I was paying for the house, and I was going to be working in the garage while Marlon, a man who hadn't held a job since 2014, had a man cave in my basement. I started dialing. "Hi, this is Mike regarding the wedding on the 24th. Cancel it." "Sir, the deposit is non-refundable." "I know, cancel it." One by one. Scorched earth. I didn't give reasons. I didn't cry. I just executed the termination clauses. By 2 p.m., the wedding was a ghost. Day 3, the trap. This was the hardest part. Acting normal. I came home. The apartment was filled with boxes. Stacy was packing. "Babe," she yelled from the bedroom. "Mom called. She wants to measure the windows in the master suite for her heavy drapes. Can we go by the house tomorrow?" "Can't," I called back, grabbing a beer. "Realtor says the sellers are doing final repairs. No access until closing." "Ugh, fine." "Oh, by the way, Marlon says he's bringing his pool table. It's heavy, so you might need to hire movers for that specifically." "Sure," I said. "Whatever Marlon needs." I went to the office, the corner of the living room, and booked a storage unit. Not for us, for me. Then came the pièce de résistance, the artifact. Stacy had been obsessed with this custom-made Italian leather sectional sofa for the new living room. It was $9,000, white leather, impractical as hell. She loved it. I had paid the deposit, and the balance was due upon delivery, which was scheduled for move-in day. I called the furniture store. "Hey, this is Mike. Change of plans. I need to change the delivery address." I gave them the address of a consignment shop across town that bought high-end furniture. "And pay the balance now?" "Yes." "Put it on this card." I paid it off. I wasn't going to let her have it. I was going to sell it and recoup some losses. Day 4, the escape Thursday. The day before, closing. The day before, they had to vacate their sold house. Stacy went to her final dress fitting with her mom. This was my window. I didn't pack everything. That would be too obvious. I took the essentials, my clothes, my laptop, my documents, my grandfather's watch, the PlayStation, petty, but mine. I loaded my car. It took 45 minutes. I left the rest. The old IKEA furniture, the plates, the towels. It was all collateral damage. I drove to the corporate housing unit I had secured through work. It was a sterile, gray one-bedroom apartment on the other side of the city. It smelled like industrial cleaner and silence. It smelled like heaven. I sat on the generic beige couch and waited. Day 5. The impact. Friday morning, 9:00 a.m., my phone started buzzing. "Stacy, where are you? The movers are here." Stacy. "Mike, why is your closet empty?" Stacy. "Pick up the phone." I ignored them. I poured myself a coffee and watched the news. 10:02 a.m. The closing appointment was supposed to be now. Stacy. "I'm at the title company. Dave isn't here. They're saying the file is closed." Mike, what is going on? 10:15 a.m. Marlon called, then Linda, then Stacy's sister. I let it ring. 11:00 a.m. The explosion. Stacy. "You canceled the house? Are you insane?" "My parents are in a U-Haul in the parking lot. They have nowhere to go." Finally, I picked up. "Hello? You." She was screaming so loud the microphone distorted. "You bastard. You psycho. You canceled the house. You stole the money. My dad is sitting on a cooler in a parking lot. We gave up our apartment. We're homeless, Mike. We are literally homeless right now." "Stacy, calm down," I said, my voice flat. "Calm down? You ruined my life." "Why? Why would you do this?" "Because it was non-negotiable," I said. Silence. Just her ragged breathing. "What?" "You said Marlon moving into the master suite was non-negotiable. You said it was a fixed constraint. So I adjusted the project parameters. I removed the house, I removed the wedding, and I removed myself. You can't do this. The wedding is canceled. Everyone has been notified. The guests are getting emails right about now. No. She sounded broken now. "Mike, please. Dad is crying. Mom is having a panic attack. We have to be out of the apartment by midnight. Where are we supposed to sleep?" "Well," I said, leaning back, "Marlon is a financial genius, right? I'm sure he has a plan. Or maybe you can all stay in that man cave he wanted so badly." Oh, wait, you don't have one. I will sue you, Marlon's voice roared in the background. He had snatched the phone. I'll sue you for every penny. Breach of promise. Fraud. Hi, Marlon, I said. Go ahead, sue me. But first, you might want to check your credit score. I ran a background check on you last night. You didn't just lose money on crypto, did you? You have 3 liens against you in a pending lawsuit for a gambling debt in Vegas. Good luck getting a lawyer to take a case on contingency. Marlon went quiet. Stacy, I said, addressing the phone again. You wanted to prioritize your parents over your partner. You made that choice. I'm just respecting it. You're all together now, just like you wanted. I hung up. Then I blocked the number. The aftermath. 1 week later. I'm writing this from a bar near my new office. It's been 7 days. The fallout was nuclear. Stacy and her parents ended up in a Motel 6 off the highway. Apparently, they tried to refuse to leave our old apartment, but the landlord, who I had warned, had the sheriff there at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday to evict them. Stacy tried to come to my work. Security stopped her at the lobby. She made a scene, screaming that I was an abuser, that I stole her dowry. We're American, we don't have dowries. She was just making words up. I lost $38,000. It hurts. I look at my bank account and I wince. That was years of saving. That was late nights, weekends working, skipping vacations. It's gone. But yesterday, a friend sent me a screenshot of Stacy's Facebook. It was a picture of her, Marlon, and Linda crammed into a single motel room with 2 queen beds, pizza boxes stacked in the corner. Marlon looked gray and defeated. Stacy looked like she hadn't slept in a week. The caption read, "Betrayed by the one person I trusted. Starting over from nothing. Cash App in bio if anyone can help with food." I zoomed in on the photo. In the background, leaning against the motel wall, was a bag of golf clubs. Marlon's clubs. He hadn't sold them. Even when they were homeless, he kept his toys. I realized then that if I had gone through with it, that would have been my life. Me working myself to death to pay the mortgage, sleeping in a garage, while Marlon played golf, and Stacy told me to be grateful. I closed the picture. I ordered another beer, an expensive import, because I can afford it. I still have my job. I still have my sanity. And tonight, I'm going back to a quiet, clean apartment where nobody tells me what is non-negotiable. I checked my email one last time. A notification from the furniture store. The white leather sectional had been sold by the consignment shop. Check for $6,500 has been mailed to you. I smiled. I think I'll buy a new mattress, a king size, just for me. The pain of the money is real. The loneliness stings a bit, especially at night. But then I remember Marlon's voice demanding the garage, and I sleep like a baby. Sometimes the most expensive exit is still cheaper than staying. Update, 30 days later. Brief update because people are asking. Stacy finally stopped trying to call from random numbers. I heard through the grapevine that Marlon tried to fix their situation by taking the little cash they had left from the house sale, which was apparently only about $5,000 after debts, and putting it on a sure-thing horse race. He lost it. Linda left him. She's staying with her sister in Ohio now. Stacy is living on a friend's couch, working double shifts at a diner because her influencer career didn't pay the motel bills. And me? I just closed on a small condo. 2 bedrooms, 1 for me, 1 for my office, and I put a lock on the guest room door, just in case. You never know when you might need to keep the monsters out.